Greetings, MFL Year 33 members. I come to you from a rainy Colorado today from the Make the Waffle Studios in beautiful Longmont. It is time for our Week 3 update. And I got to tell you, um, again, this is my favorite league. There is no comparison. I'm in a lot of leagues, and I do like a lot of them. But this one is just, I think it's just the absolute most, needless to say, bizarre based upon some of our processes, and therefore least predictable. I give you, for example, and I guess just because it's me logged in, I'm always going to have my team up here first. So maybe someday we'll start at the bottom and work our way back. But the Hoopton Corn Jerkers have pulled off yet another upset, defeating the defending champion Gray Squirrels in the narrowest margin of the week, 149 to 129. And going into Monday night, there was projections from Sleeper that the Gray Squirrels were about a 2-1 favorite. I don't know, how would you do a 67% favorite? I probably should gamble more so I would know, but it was about a third a chance that Hoopton would win and 2/3 that the Gray Squirrels would win. So 2-1, I think that's about right. So anyway, the part I think that Sleeper doesn't take into account is that Gray Squirrels had Lamar Jackson. And that's all well and good, but it just so happens that Mark Andrews is going to wake up that particular night. And if that's the case, then I don't know that those percentages hold up. I think it was probably more like 50-50. It all depended on who Lamar Jackson threw to. I mean, if he runs for 3 touchdowns, then the Gray Squirrels, they crush. So, and maybe that was what the thinking was. But anyway, Hoopton is hanging in there at 2-1. I have a feeling still yet that the Gray Squirrels will be a force in the end, that's for sure. Noticing also in the interests of, I don't know, maybe not an upset, but the Army, our new member, is now on the no longer undefeated side of the ledger. They go down to the West Canaan Coyotes in pretty convincing fashion here. But when we get to the standings, you'll see it didn't affect too much, really. A name change. We don't have a whole lot of them in this league, but Kevin has changed his team name to Big Meat. Let's all say it together. That's personal. There were some secondhand quotes given me from around the rumor mill that I'll keep out just in case someone didn't actually say them, but that's kind of hilarious. There's also been discussion of more team name changes coming. So, yeah, perhaps we'll see that in the future here. But the Cleveland Crashlets defeat for their first win of the season, Big Meat. Tulsa Quake NATOs respond from a loss last week. Finally get off the winless Schneid. They defeat Leavenworth 151 to 123. And again, I think both those teams are probably going to be around deciding factor time toward the end of the season. And then San Antonio defeated CDs, who now is at 0-3. And also perhaps without CD Lamb for a while. So that CDs might be reeling a little bit. That might be the first big domino to fall this season. But we all know it's kind of a grind. You got to keep on plugging away, and sometimes all it takes is just getting a little hot at the end. That's for sure. So San Antonio defeats CDs, and then in a pretty shocking outcome for me, not necessarily just based upon who won, because I do think anyone can beat anyone. For example, my team. But Kansas City ass kickers put down an ass kicking this week. They left a 44-point player on their bench and still managed to score 165 points. So look out for the Kansas City Ass Kickers. That is for sure. In Toledo's shoes, I got to be honest. A lot of the time, if you're going to lose, man, you might as well just go ahead and lose big, because that way it sort of works out. So we have no undefeated teams after 3 weeks, and we have 7 teams at 2-1. We have 5 teams at 1-2, and we have 1 team at 0-3. And again, notice they've got the little CDs has the little soft serve chocolate frozen yogurt emoji there with the eyeballs. Again, and I'm pretty sure that means that they are not only without probably their best player, but if you look up here at all the points against, the team that has had the absolute most points scored against them is CDs, TDs. And notice the Cleveland up here used to have that, and they're a distant second now. So I feel like CD's catching some rough breaks here at the start. But those are our standings. And again, if the playoffs were today, we would have a 7-team bracket because we have 7 teams that are above 500. So top team would get a bye, and then we'd seed the rest, and we'd go from there. But it looks like a pretty balanced and competitive league from what I can tell. I did post some things last week concerning salary caps next year, that sort of thing. It appears that the salary cap is going to go up significantly. So I have a feeling spending is going to be the way to go in the future, that's for sure. You will notice, by the way, in the standings, it does give you a little rundown here of the waiver wire money remaining for everybody. In case you are putting in some waiver claims, you can kind of just see who you might be bidding against and who they might be going after. And if you do have a 0, for example, Cleveland has a 0, that's okay. You can go in and put waiver claims in and bid 0, and then there's always the chance you'll get that person. If you're bidding against someone else who also bid 0, there's a sleeper tiebreaker in there. That'll help you out with that. But if anyone bids any money, obviously you won't get who you're looking for. And then after the waiver process, when it turns into a free agent process, which is more of a add claim, drop, immediate type situation, those are all 0. Any player that clears waivers basically is getting signed for the minimum, is the way that works. So look over here at the league chat, and we've got our weekly report. It appears that our best manager, despite the fact that they did not score the most amount of points, was John Toll. 96% of his perfect possible lineup. So had he made one little switch, he could have scored 161. So that's pretty good. I think worst manager is a little harsh, but it looks like Dan got our worst manager award this week. And again, he made some wrong calls. I don't know who he left on his bench, but as the season goes on, it appears to me again that Dan will likely have some bench options. Bye week start, injuries happen, that sort of thing. So I would not count Toledo out just yet. Biggest blowout was it's Connor over Dan, which would be the Ass Kickers over the Tube Stakes. Narrowest victory was Hoopton over the Gray Squirrels, as completely unexpected. If you'd asked me how I would predict my season so far, I would have thought maybe I'd win week 1, because week 1's always a little bit of a crapshoot. I would have assumed I would have lost weeks 2 and 3 to Tulsa and to Gotham, and just as it turns out, I would be 0-3 if I were betting on my team right now. I would be 0-3 on my bets. But hey, I'll take the 2-1. Again, all we're trying to do here is hit that 7-win mark. If you're trying to get bye weeks and stuff, then obviously you're going to want to get more than that. But my experience again with this league is you just get in, get hot, and see how it goes. So. That's the way that's looking for me. Highest score was Kansas City. Lowest score was Toledo. He gets our underachiever award or our low score award. We still need more of a Chicken Little award, politically correct name for that. But Dan gets the low point award this week. Doesn't look like that's going to happen too often if he's got that many points sitting on his bench. The overachiever award, the guy who, again, left his 40-point guy on the bench, which we'll talk about in a moment, he still got the overachiever award. So it's almost like a little inefficiency plus a little exceeding projections turns into a really, really solid week for that player. So for that owner. The below expectation award is Kevin, and this one's the one that maybe is the one we really worry about, that might cause us some concern as owners, because if you're putting your guys in and they're just not meeting expectations, that can turn into a problem if it's week to week. 1 week that happens, but man, you kind of hope you've put a roster together that if one or two guys are having an off week, the other two guys are balancing that out by exceeding, right? And doesn't look like that happened this week. Let me look at some interesting names here on the weekly report. Caleb Williams as the QB of the week. I know a lot of folks out there, Cowboy fans, I'm as shocked as you are. I was about to kind of throw in the towel on Caleb Williams. I'm a guy who in some dynasty leagues drafted Loveland, in one league in particular, over Tyler Warren, just because I thought maybe Caleb Williams would be better quarterback play than Daniel Jones. Anyway, through 2 weeks, that was definitely not the case. But through this third week, if we can get a healthy Loveland on the field and Caleb keeps playing this way, maybe that'll work out. Quake Nato's start Jonathan Taylor, best running back of the week, a player I let go. So there's something I'll probably be kicking myself for quite some time. That theme is going to continue soon. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver of the week. Tight end of the week, Mark Andrews. I have this guy in several leagues. I've tried to trade him. Nobody wants him. A lot of the time I just end up with him in my starting lineup because I got no other options, and then he goes off. That's typically the way Mark Andrews goes. But kicker of the week, defense of the week, I don't think we need to spend a whole lot of time on that. But look at the bench warmers here. Marcus Mariota makes a little bit of sense. I mean, if you had a better option at quarterback, he would be sitting on your bench. But look at Cam Skattebo. I don't know that that's going to happen again. I think he's probably going to end up in some lineups across leagues, and I think Tyrone Taylor is probably, or Tyrone Tracy is probably going to be on the shelf for a little bit. Everybody check the news. Don't take my word for it. Google up your NFL injury news, that's for sure. But here, look at this. Another player that I let go. I don't know if anyone watches all these videos, but I did a little video on keepers. And I remember, first of all, I had 15 keepers because I signed three extra players from other rosters. And at the bottom of that list, I don't know if anyone remembers this, I was trying to decide who to keep. And I did not keep Trey Tucker. He was the one I decided, no, I just don't think so. He was basically the outside name on my keeper list. And here he goes scoring 44 points on It's Connor's bench. So, by the way, I'm just reading the handle here at It's Connor. So don't think I don't know that your name is only Connor. Anyway, Trey Tucker, man, for what it's worth, I did manage to hang on to him in some other spots. And because I've always kind of believed in the player, I just, wasn't a Raider fan. I wasn't a Geno fan. And in the end, maybe it's a coaching thing. Maybe it's whoever that guy is. Oh, I can't think of his name right now. But Hunter Henry, a player, believe it or not, I targeted this year. And I think I got zero of. I never picked up Hunter Henry anywhere. And I always thought weeks like this might happen with that guy. So good job from Dan. He's always going to have those guys pinpointed, that's for sure. And then there's a kicker and a defense who are bench warmers of the week. So, and then it looks like we had, 1 minute ago, an update there. 1 minute ago, It's Connor updated their team name to Kansas City Ass Kissers. Apparently, I hope I haven't been misreading that the whole time. That's for sure. But anyway, so there's kind of our update. I think what's going to happen if I'm ever going to get any guests on our weekly update, we're going to probably have to make sure those of you who want to identify yourselves. So maybe shoot me a note if you want to be a guest on our weekly update, and we'll work it out. You will need to kind of be able to navigate Zoom if you're familiar with Zoom meetings and stuff like that. We can make that work. You can be on your phone, you can be on your PC, however you want that to happen. But I'll just kind of open it up to willing volunteers first, and then we'll, I'll actively start seeking some folks out if that's what I need to do. But yeah, that's pretty much the deal for week 3. Let's do a little week 4 preview here. And again, I feel like with sleepers projections, even if everybody did set their lineup, I don't know that they're much to hang your hat on. I think as much as us old school guys like the convenience of being able to sort, available free agents and stuff by projections and that sort of thing, at least I know it really comes down to your own ability to see through all that and agree or disagree correctly. I just know for a fact there's a lot of players that people have always gone after, that I never have. And in a lot of cases, I was wrong. Probably should have gone after those players. Then there are those players that I went after every single year and they burned me. I remember specifically, I was thinking of this the other day, I had the Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams combo for like 3 years. And I was determined to keep it. And I finally gave up on it. And I think it might have been Kevin who got both of them the next year. And of course, they carried him all the way. So it's always a matter of agreeing and disagreeing at the right times about the right players. That is for sure. But back to projections. If you haven't set your lineup, it may look like you're a heavy underdog here. But, there's a long time to go between Tuesday and, really Thursday when it starts. And then the following Sunday, Monday. So 2 Monday night games coming up. I can't remember who they are. And I think actually I think it's Denver and Cincinnati is one of them because I'm here around Denver, so they've been talking about it. But I think the Thursday night game also might have some key players in it. So just keep an eye on those things here. Hoopton going up against Toledo. Looks like it's going to be a pretty competitive match. And I can tell you now, one of those teams, it appears, is going to come out 3-1. And that's going to be significant. I think the winner of that one is it's a little early to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but definitely has a leg up on at least the other team, if not half the league, that's for sure. So Hoopton and Toledo coming up. Again, Hoopton, of course, supposed to be an underdog there. I think Hoopton's been an underdog every week. So that's so far. Quake NATOs are set to do pretty well, it appears, against West Canaan. But again, I wouldn't put too much into that if West Canaan has not set their lineup yet. Cleveland against the Gray Squirrels, that might be a tall order. I have a feeling Gotham's probably going to respond to their first loss of the season, that's for sure. Big Meat against CDs, a little family conflict there. And it appears, at least at this point, that Kevin's going to do pretty well in that. I would imagine CDs has not had a chance to evaluate, the loss of their player for a while here. And, they probably got some waiver claims in and stuff like that. But looks like that's the way that's probably going to pan out for now. The Army is an underdog to the Ass Kickers, who I think have been changed to the Ass Kissers. I think this is all happening in real time here. But a couple of newer players. One was new last year, one's new this year. And again, one of those teams is going to be 3-1 at the end of week 4 and have a leg up, I think, on a lot of other people trying to battle to the playoffs. And then we've got an old time rivalry here, San Antonio against Leavenworth. That actually even sounds like an actual rivalry. I think it would be in real life. But Leavenworth, right now, an underdog, but again, probably hasn't really had a chance to adjust much on the lineup or on the waiver wire. I think bye week start week 5, so this will be our last week going in with no buys, and so you're going to want to watch that stuff. If you've got quarterbacks on the same bye week or something weird like that, you're going to need to sort that out. Keep in mind on your super flex, you don't have to start a quarterback. I've been experimenting a little bit with that over last year and this year in some other leagues. And believe it or not, it kind of works. I think I started Zach Ertz in a super flex spot 1 week, and it actually went okay. So don't necessarily get hung up on that stuff. But needless to say, based on projections and opportunity and things like that, most of the time a quarterback's going to be your best bet. But if your super flex is Tommy DeVito or something weird like that, then yeah, maybe not. So anyway, just notice here again on those standings, we've got 7 teams or we got 6 teams at 2-1. So really big log jam up here at the top, and it's pretty much anybody's. Even someone at the bottom right now can still kind of make their way back. We all have had that 1-5 start that turned into a 7-7 season that got us in the playoffs. That has happened many times. So yeah, nobody give up. Send me a note if you want to be a part of our weekly update. I would ask some questions of you, especially perhaps some historical questions if you've been in the league a while. If you're kind of new to it, I would probably ask you how you think it's going as far as fantasy football goes and what's your impression of this insanity, stuff like that. So if you can get on a Zoom and you want to join us on the weekend, on the week update, let me know and we'll make that happen. Until next week, y'all stay safe out there.